Hello everyone, welcome to another RRWC match. We have a Group B game today. We have Fuzk going against Phanium, our two-time RR champion, and I'm joined by In4Fun today. How are you doing for fun?
Hey, going well here. How about you?
Not too bad. We have some quick maps today. The first one, the last one, our middle one's a bit interesting. We will, if you haven't seen the map already, the second one will be Colorado, but we won't share what the third one is. But we're on the first one right now, and if you want to do the honors in fun, you can take the first one.
Badly. So for Dubai, we have Carl Ingram, loud explosive weapon as Penthouse Guard, Marcus Stuyvesant Scissors as Penthouse Staff.
So yeah, this could be a quick one. I'm curious if we're going to see a Penthouse Staff start. Doesn't have to be necessarily, because you might want to get your ISOs. You have to go down for the scissors anyway. It's going to be an interesting one for sure, seeing what approaches they go for.
Yeah, I think it's an age-old dilemma of prioritizing the double isolation or getting the Penthouse Staff closer to the targets. And Phanium definitely opting with the double ISO with the art crew start, and Fuzk taking a bit longer, still not in at 45 seconds.
Yeah, I like that variation on the isolation there. He only used one trank and went around that one guy who spotted the body because he was fast enough and got the knockout on him. So he actually has that trank saved for later, which might come in handy for maybe a quicker Penthouse staff or getting an item that you might need. That was very nice.
Phanium will be playing the odds slightly because that loud explosive weapon will make Carl flying through that atrium or corridor. So can't be too sure if that body is not going to be seen, but if it's not, it has the potential to be a really quick first try.
Yeah, and I'm not quite sure of the time, but I feel like the record's around like a 2:40, so he still has about a minute left. Ish.
Should be about Phanium. Should be from Phanium himself. Fuzk with the first restart there. Not quite a full whoosh, but it was going to be inevitable at this point.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for Fuzk, to be honest. And yeah, although Phanium is speeding through, I don't think record has been grasped, especially since Penthouse staff is in the spin. Would have been nice to see, but he's definitely making the best time out of a spin like this that he can. And honestly, since he has both targets down, as we always say, it's just a quick fetch now of the disguises. Has the scissors, has the guard, has the explosive, so just Penthouse staff and the kills left now for Phanium.
Yeah, it's the mandatory chip downstairs for the only scissors and the mandatory chip upstairs for the only place where Penthouse Staff can be. Won't be a long grab, but still back and forth, and should be about a minute. Fuzk, not much he can do for the rest of the spin. Just hope that Phanium rips.
And yeah, a lot of trouble for Fuzk with this isolation onto Carl. Does get a peekaboo, so he couldn't get past him. And that's another restart, but meanwhile, Phanium is pretty much done with this spin. You could say Pidgey would be saying GG right now if he was here.
This is the point exactly, with the caveat that we still need to see that loud explosive weapon kill. Marcus won't be any issue, but just really curious to see if this will be fine or not. We have had experience with loud explosions at the end of Dubai spins, so
yeah, definitely. And that body does get found sometimes.
Especially in this position, it's green.
Oh, and it fell. Oh my lord, that could have been moments from catching the glimpse of somebody. That was very close. I'd love to see like a 3D view of how close it was. Very nice from Phanium, out in almost record time, as best as he could have done with a spin like that, quite honestly. And yeah, takes the first map from Fuzk, which was his pick, and now we're moving over to Phanium's pick of Colorado.
Goodness me, let me remember one thing after I send this message. Well, this is extraordinary and the first I've seen from veteran player. What did he have here? Phanium has won Dubai.
Yeah, very nice from Phanium there. And yeah, he's moving over to his home soil right now. Phanium is an American player, and he did pick an American map and feel very at home here. And as usual, Colorado is such an interesting map when it comes to diversity and different approaches. When it comes to the lifetime performance as well for both of them, it's a bit of an anagram for their scores. 1 win, 4 losses, and 1 tie for Fuzk. But for Phanium, he's turned that around, and that's 4 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. So a bit more lenient towards Phanium. But of course, they haven't played each other before, so they can make that number change for the better if they want. Have to see what kind of spin we get and how both players feel.
Yeah, just going back to that Dubai, exactly what Colored Lonely said. I was looking for the finish press from Phanium, but even he himself wasn't sure if the body will not be found in those 3 seconds, and crucially in that last second and a half of free falling. I think that was a death sentence. So if he were to wait another second, I don't think he would have survived there. But yeah, we're going to Colorado. Great start by Phanium.
Yeah, super nice from Phanium, and by the looks of it, he is ready enough to get this Colorado sorted. He's practicing his house ISO, going as fast as almost possible. Even oh, never mind, went a bit too fast. Caught the glimpse of that guard, but definitely has the idea there. And so I'd also say, anybody's here, there is 2 ongoing matches as well currently happening, just so people are aware, in case you want to have your 3 monitors going to use. There is TK47 and Osh currently going on, and there is Soviet and Sparkles also happening at the same time. They're both playing Hokkaido, funnily enough.
Come join us for the variety. I mean, it's not the right place to say it because everyone is here already who could hear me, but
True. Yeah, and the record as well. I don't think that record's going to be touched for still a little while. It's one of the spins that you honestly need like everything to kind of align, and it's tougher for 4 things to align. Because all it takes is like a scarecrow fiber wire to put your cycles out of order, or falling object on Dawn or something with some suit.
yeah, generally if it involves waiting until Sean is back at the house, then you are at a very limited amount of spins where you can get under 744, since of course that is 6 minutes of in-game time, probably 7 by the time you exit. So you add in some loading and loadout and planning, and then you are at Speedster's record, which should have been something similar like this. I think there is still a way to make this under 7 minutes, but that is going to be like the extraordinary amount of extraordinary few spins.
And yeah, I wanted to quickly check what the spin actually could have been, and it was injected poison suit for Sean, Old Axe, explosive specialist for Ezra, Penelope screwdriver, malicious spec ops, and Maya neck snap as the point man. So I can see a lot of the stuff lining up nice there. Sean Rose injected poison in his suit, probably the most annoying of the lot, but of course Speedster probably caught him either in the house or over in his explosive shed. But a lot more maintainable than most spins you'd get on this map, where you can get most of your stuff sorted in the first 2 minutes and then it's just waiting for cycles. Yeah, very nice. And that was against Linux Penguin back in RR5.
The longest standing records, if I had to guess, of course, the that elusive Miami from Yanni is from RR3, but I can't really think of anything from the first World Championship or R4. So I think this should be the second longest standing record.
Yeah, I think you are correct. By the looks of it, RR3, like you said, is one of the oldest. That was back in the semi-finals against Froat. And then, yeah, this Colorado looking like the next. And then there's none until RR7 again. So this wasn't even a record in RR6. But there could be one in RRWC if the stars align.
Yeah, this was definitely the turn last year where all the records were beaten, and then of course rebeaten since then. But the fact that you have this group stage here and relatively high amount of spins for everyone, and none of them really matter for advancing, it doesn't really come down to how you do in the second match of your tournament. So you can be a bit more risky, but I think with this spin we might not see a record. Please, observer, what's down.
Oh wow, here we go. We have Sean Rose Fire as the militia technician, Penelope Graves neck snap as the explosive specialist, Ezra Berg assault rifle as the scarecrow, and Maya Parvati explosion accident as the hacker. So yeah, a lot of stuff to keep track of here, especially that Sean Rose fire kill, seeing as the Molotov is still treated like a fire kill if I'm not mistaken. I know I should know this as an admin, but it is a loud kill.
it is certainly going to be loud with the Molotov, and it is going to be allowed here as well. The Molotov can be used in any way, shape, or form, so long as the performance HUD doesn't show a different kill, like the melee XP, because that would mean that the Molotov, like the contracts mode Molotov item, killed the target, or it cannot be explosion for that tiny bit of insta kill before the fire hits in.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
we'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. And I don't think I saw Phanium bring one, unless it was a very quick addition to his loadout, but
It was a very quick addition to his loadout. He is one of the quickest planners, so no surprise that he did get one.
yeah, he did get in pretty quickly. He's about 40 seconds ahead of Fuzk now, which is honestly a lifetime when it comes to first tries, because you're always going to be chasing the person with the faster planning, no matter how well you play. Yeah, he is flying through it, and let's see if he does remember the timing this time from his little bit of practice. Very nice to see. Should be pretty safe to drag Penelope in if he wants to.
Yeah, looks good there, and of course it is probably the most straightforward kills there. The explosive specialist will take a bit to get here, but of course the next snap won't be any problem. And with the scarecrow, this is 2 easy kills in the house, but the other 2 will be interesting with the explosion accident and the fire explosion, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see this Sean's fire kill. There is, of course, barrels on the map, and if they do use any of those, I would be very impressed to see. And I think we might just see one. I know there is one next to this explosive shed, I think, just outside to the left. Used to be the most used one, I think, for Sean.
Yeah, of the in my opinion, none of these are really viable, so I am a bit surprised that it is a kill in the first place. But if people were to kill Sean with fire, then it would be this one with a chain lure after leaving this shed, or well, during he's in this shed. 3 or 4 steps to make it sure, and then it's live, and definitely accidental. It still would be.
Yeah, that would be very nice to see. I haven't seen it in such a long time, especially since Molly had its glory days, but now it's back in the kind of unused loadout part. The 90% of items that people will never put in their loadout because, like, who's bringing the kukri machete into like any level?
Imagine those would be like kills that can come up, but then I guess it would be even more of a nightmare to bring the loadout up for your first RR tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Phanium, meanwhile, is setting up this propane kill. Didn't put a breacher down or anything, but I imagine they're just going to come back and do that later. He did have a breacher in his inventory, which he must be saving for fire barrel then, unless he just hasn't set up that breacher fully yet. But I'm interested to see what he's planning on here.
I think at this point, I mean, only he can know for sure, and maybe he's also just going back and forth there. But my best guess here is that the Sean kill will be in the shed, but done remotely, and the breacher will be for the Molotov cocktail, which means, by the process of elimination, that the explosion accident has to be live, and he may just have to use the assault rifle to shoot it twice.
Yeah, I agree. I do think he's going to use the... I don't see any reason. I guess if he does want to do the hacker explosion kill last, it would make sense, but... Oh, is bringing the Molotov. He did have it there, like you said. Sets up the breacher, yeah. So yeah, very nice from Phanium there. With that setup. Should be okay. I don't think any eyes are going to get a glance through that window.
Not in the 3 seconds. Of course, it has to be exit kill, and I think other than that, it should be fine, just as long as it's the last kill. But he's preparing for the first kill, as 3.5 minutes for Fuzk, 4 minutes for Phanium, and no kills on the board yet.
Looks like Fuzk is planning to get this fire barrel used onto Sean as well. I see him kind of looking it up to, well, not looking it up, but like looking at the barrel to see if it was viable, even grabbing a screwdriver so he can puncture it. Maybe planning on doing a quick chain lure.
Yeah, screwdriver can be twice as beneficial here for the lure and for the puncture as well. Not a lot of change there, would be just shooting it once or twice. Big whoosh for Phanium, but uses a Cheng to contain the situation, and going to change back. and go for that second kill of his. We eat Penelope.
Yeah, looking pretty good for Phanium. Meanwhile, as well, Fuzk did puncture that fire barrel, so he has a bit of progress on that fire kill. Seems like he's a bit cautious about it. We see a lot of pauses and a lot of considerations, but better safe than sorry, because you definitely don't want to rip so far into your spin. I think Fuzk is around probably 3.5 minutes to 4, yeah, 4 minutes. But he does have a bit of catching up to do, assuming Phanium first tried it, which he isn't aware of, but you never know.
Yeah, it's really difficult in Fuzk's situation because I don't exactly recall when he has played his last tournament. He has played for a long time, but not a lot this year, and might have been unaware of the fire developments or might not have been playing it in action. So it might just be the first time that he's ever doing a fire kill for Sean, and that could be really tense for a match.
Yeah, for sure. And I do hope it works out for both of them, this fire kill, because it is scary. And meanwhile, as well, there, Phanium had a really nice hacker grab. He brought one hacker down, which usually you'd see people grab that one that actually comes down, but he instead grabbed the one that was isolated upstairs by himself. That was just nice. You could tell that was definitely planned by Phanium, and he had that grab ready, and it was very speedy as well. Didn't have to wait for the guy to come downstairs just to leave the room. So very quick from him, and he's already on his way over to Maya Parvati. Now, I would be a bit worried about this propane going off, but I can't imagine any reason guards would enter the explosive shed after this kill happens.
I do have the same concerns as well, but it does feel like a bit safer. I guess we have to see about it. But yeah, the good thing is, as propane seems to be lost. Oh, there it is. But since it's guards mostly, if civilians would scatter around the area, but with guards I am a bit more confident. But there is that whoosh there for Phanium from the right, which will be a bit close. He has to drop the weapon quickly after the last kill.
Very nice.
She does nicely.
Now a quick technician grab, and he can bomb it for the exit. He's looking very good right now, but of course he does have the riskiest kill. Kill last. That body was found from Maya, but shouldn't matter. Now again, similar to the buy, he has to pop this 3 seconds before exit and just pray that no red guns show up in that bottom left corner. It's really coming down to if he can get away with this. Hopefully he times it correctly. I'm sure Phanium will.
Yep, and there's also the off chance that we will see an explosion instead of the fire, which we will see by the explosion 25 XP. But I do not see such thing. It's an unnoticed kill, and there's the accept button for me to appear. So it seems that upon 5-star SA, we will have the second map finished.
Yeah, very nice from Phanium, and really good IGT as well, 735, which would have gave the record a run for its money. If he had gotten in within 10-15 seconds, that would have been a really close contender for the record. But with things like Molotov and other things like assault rifle and stuff, you just can't plan that quick enough. Yeah, that was amazing from Phanium getting so close to a record there. And we're moving on to the iconic map number 3, Dartmoor. That sounds like Joker's Tinder bio. Yeah, it's a good one.
Wherever he is, he's definitely appreciating the text. And we'll be watching back. So, hi, Joker.
Yeah, this is one of the maps. It's changed a lot lately, especially because of the Dartmoor drop. And now that Molotov is gone as well, there was fire kill options, but we're back to the OG days of Dartmoor. If anything, it's gotten more difficult, but more difficult for Dartmoor isn't very much more. It's just a tiny bit of a setup for the drop now. Better than that, everything has stayed the same. And Phanium's looking for that clean sweep, I'm sure, which everybody likes to get for the confidence boost. And he's looking pretty good for it as well. These stats, you see Fuzk has 4 wins, 1 loss. Phanium, just a tiny bit more experience on the map, 6 wins and 2 losses. So pretty similar ratio of win to loss, but tiny bit of an edge towards Phanium for this. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see. And again, there's so many cool spins on Dartmoor that I feel could kind of scare players for a moment. And the planning, as always, is so essential in this map. If you just get in, you're starting the cycles, and you can, if it's consumed poison, essentially, get in there as soon as you can and just don't proxy anyone.
I think exactly that's what this Dartmoor may come down to. Both of them are very familiar with the map. They know the strats here. And yeah, unlike Colorado, I don't think much will have changed in Fuzk's mind about this map. Maybe if you practices the Dartmoor drop. But yeah, I think the main key here is that map record that Phanium has, which of course is which has come after a quick spin and a quick load in. But the fact that Phanium is one of the quickest planners, which we've seen at the beginning of Colorado as well, will no doubt put him in a lead before either of them are loading in. And yeah, from that point, Phanium just has to carry it through the finish. Which yeah, we'll have to see if both players will first try it. Then of course we'll have that likely photo finish once again. But Dartmoor's never that straightforward lately.
Yeah, Dartmoor, honestly, a lot of people claim to have solved it, and they have. In theory and paper, it is a solved map. But then when it comes to the spin and 20 million thoughts that come into your head of, if I started here, it would be the fastest, and if I grabbed the gardener on the way, all that stuff comes into play. And essentially, it's just confidence in just your loadout, how quick you can plan getting in. And I feel like half the time, people just have like these two setups. They just go in and do it, even if it's not the fastest. It's the fact they decided so quickly. And
yeah,
I'd also checked as well because I was curious. That record from Phanium, yeah, it happened in R9. I couldn't remember. I felt like we both cast it, and we did. It was actually you who main cast it, and I was there, and I remember saying it's the lottery ticket spin. And even though he didn't do the essay kind of approach, like the record, I think it was like a minute, he even went downstairs and got the tokens, and he still bet the record, which goes to show how quick Phanium is at planning. He just knows that he needs to hit that play button. If he has 2 tranks and a snail in his inventory, he can just hit play if he doesn't need any item.
Yep, and from this point, it's just playing the odds, whether if it's the behind mention start for the suit dimension guard, the odd bodyguard, but especially the downstairs skills, or is it going to be some sort of upstairs isolation and kill, for which there's also the PI start, which is on Fuzk's side, so we might see the betting here. But I don't think anyone will have a big advantage here, but one of them will have an easier loadout path, especially with this spin's shotgun photographer. I think that both should be changing their starts to gardener for this one, so it evens out a bit.
Yeah, and photographer being one of the probably most annoying disguises on Dartmoor to grab, besides the Undertaker. I think photographer the toughest, but could be quicker. It is quicker than the Undertaker because of the distance traveled. But yeah, it's annoying. We'll probably see some snails or some nice tranks, double tranks from either player. But Fuzk for the first time is actually in first as well.
Yeah, and this could be big and could be interesting, but Fuzk with the replay immediately. He starts at Zachary's bedroom, and that felt like the one misstep here, and it is much closer from garden. Won't be able to pick up the agency pick up that way, though. That's what he's thinking about there. You'll have to go back and forth, while Phanium after 54 seconds is in with fast-forwarded suit start. So after all, it will be a downstairs isolation.
Yeah, very unfortunate again. Another replan from Fuzk. Yeah, it goes to show how fast some of these players are. From getting the spin, the record would be out in about 5 seconds from now. It goes to show the planning really taught them here. With shotgun and photographer, you really need to change your loadout from the not usual beginning. And will Phanium be able to get this rank off? I think he should be okay. Does get it. However, does manage to get the 2 people turn around to see that body. He did need that, otherwise he would have been caught.
More troubles for Fuzk, and it's the pivotal point in the spin to get that. It's not Seeker shot this time, but the grenade throw, right? And Alexa is now sick. Phanium just needs one more case file, and for her to get to the bathroom of her choice, and rather his choice, because the agency picker is already there.
Yeah, he's looking pretty good right now, Phanium, quite honestly. He's speeding through it. Could not tell what was spotted on Phanium's screen there. It looks like a flamingo or a peacock or something. Doesn't it? It is a peacock. And yeah, what a spin from Phanium. He just had that planned. The IGT was absolutely amazing. That's already the finish coming in. And just like that, he's already out. Yeah, that was very well planned from Phanium, even down to the late Emetic. Didn't Emetic her really early on, so she'd actually go to the bathroom closer to the exit. So it's just little things like that. Phanium's just flying through maps with.
That was a really impressive route for him. It's not a lot of times you can see a sub 134 photographer. This might just be the definite way to do photographer spins very nicely on my Phanium. Fuzk just held back after those couple extra restarts there.
Yeah,
very nicely played.
there wasn't much contesting it against that Darmore Crown. So the other two maps, maybe there was a bit of leeway, but honestly, with Phanium, with that run, like you said, a sub 130 photographer with a large smuggle is just amazing to get a sub 130. Definitely a well deserved Dartmoor, and yeah, that's a clean sweep for Phanium as well. So he's definitely going to be happy with that, and that's going to cement, not fully, but cement a little bit further his chances of getting into that KO stage. And we can check what that did to the scores as well. And that was a Group D, or Group B even. And here we go. So yeah, we have Yanini currently topping it. He does have 4 matches played. And that's 22 points, which is 2 points away from the max score. So only lost a single map, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, 11 maps won and 1 lost.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing there from Yanini. Phanium not far behind. He won 3 matches, 1 loss. He has 17 points out of a maximum of 24. And yeah, that's still an amazing score to have going in. Nearly to the halfway point, or just over the halfway point even, for their group stage. Izuka-chan on 11 points. He's only played 3 matches though, however, so he still has a potential of 6 points to grab before he's matched up with Phanium and Yanini. We have Fuzk a little bit beneath. It's crazy to see these gaps in the standings, but of course it's expected with the wins and losses because the points are so extreme. But has 4 points, 2 matches played. It's the Alex, 4 matches played, also has 4 points. Then Reaper with 2, and Cabin and Swastik unfortunately on 0, but still plenty of matches to play. Cabin actually hasn't played a match yet, so I wouldn't even count him as being at the bottom. A lot of potential for a lot of players. And yeah, you don't have to win, you just have to get top 4. So never give up. And in terms of what matches are upcoming, I do know there's 2 matches currently going on right now, and I'm sure they're still going because Phanium is far too quick. Looks like Fro is currently casting Soviet and Sparkles, and I know Buffet had some issues with the match casting, and I think got delayed by 10 minutes or so, so that match is probably ongoing. If not, somebody's hopefully claimed it, and that's going to be TK47 and Osh. And then we have an hour later Swastik and Nezuko, that's at 22 CST. Janawam and Ebremedi, that's an hour later again. Fuzk and Nezuko playing a double buy, that's going to be fun to watch, at midnight CST. Ashton and T_North at 3 CEST, and then David Red Sox and Mr. Mike, Battle of the Admins, and that's a bit of a late one for the Europeans, but I think it's worth staying up for, quite honestly. That's at 3:30 in the morning CEST, but more of an American match anyway. And yeah, that was a long talk by me, but any final comments from you and the match and Phanium and Fuzk?
Not much really. I think it's a nice effort by Fuzk and very well played, but sadly it's just the other side, one of the top favorites for the tournament, and Phanium showing his true form there. It's not the only 6 we will see from him this tournament, far from it. And yeah, this isn't even his peak, and we know that he has had we could see the map records at the bottom for not just 1 but 2 maps. He can go even quicker this time, but yeah, he bounced back with another nice win here, and curious to see how this Group B will unfold.
Yeah, that was amazing from Phanium, and there's not much you can do against previous Aura champion on their on a good day, and that was just amazing from Phanium. Still amazing from Fuzk, but like I said, not much you can do against somebody who's just in peak form. And I think with that, we'll give Fro the rate. It's currently ongoing, the match, like I said, and thanks as well for admin and co-casting with me as always. In4Fun.
It was a great pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. Yeah, we'll rate Fro now. They're only about, I think, 1 map into their match. If anybody hasn't gone over there yet, we'll just bring whatever people are still here quickly over. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching and enjoy the match.